Nike is finally starting to crumble, and honestly, it's good. You want to know why? Because when things fall apart, that's when you can take the pieces and rebuild. And honestly, for the past couple of years, this conglomerate needed to destroy itself in order for things to heal for you, us, the customers. We have been suffering for far too long because of this structure. The structure that has built upon suffering of you and your pockets, your money. Everything that these people do comes at an expense of you getting the sneakers that you want, an expense of you having to go through hurdles just to get the things that you desire, an expense of actual money, right? Because sneakers cost too much nowadays, and this is why Nike is starting to see its own demise. Why? Because people aren't buying their sneakers anymore. They moved into other options, and now they're starting to shift their leadership structure, right? They feel like the current person in charge is to blame for all their problems, but that is far from the case. It is the values of the company that are truly broken, not just its leadership structure, guys. The fact that sneaker resale has really controlled things for so long, it has such a tight grip, and that grip is finally loosening and becoming weak to the point where now, when you hold something so long and with so much power, it almost starts to destroy your own hand. You ever felt that way? Imagine if I gave you a boulder and I forced you to squeeze it for the rest of your life. You would eventually start to squeeze so hard that your hand would start to deteriorate, your skin cells would fall off, and that is what's happening with its company. This grab for power is starting to destroy them. Recent news, the Nike CEO finally decided to retire. He decided to resign from his position and give the power and the blame to somebody else. Oh, what a nice guy. Current CEO John Donahoe is finally going bye-bye as of October 14th, 2024. But why did you decide to wait that long, dude? The damage is already done. This company has been steering itself in the wrong direction for quite some time now, and I truly don't believe a change in leadership is going to change the trajectory of Nike. Not that alone. A new CEO will be taking his place, Elliot Hill. He was once the CEO of Nike in the past, but now he's supposed to be their savior, right? It's like trying to return to an old format of the past. In the 90s, where Jordans were hot, when Nike Air Max were hot. Why? Because people felt a connection, an emotional value when it comes to sneakers that they're trying to get back once again, but they're also trying to keep their money, and you're not going to be able to do both, buddy. I'm just going to tell you the truth. The current CEO is going to stay around as an advisor until 2025, so his voice and his message will still be present while there be another face. Sounds something similar like the American political system, but let me be real with you guys, all right? The fact that he's still in the current CEO's ear, the fact that he's still involved with the company is more evidence to the fact that things cannot change simply overnight. This is going to be a very complicated process. This is going to take work. This is going to take time, and it's going to take you deciding how you want to stand on business and support this company. If you do not support the company, they will see that their values need to change. But if we continue to give money to the structure, if we continue to give money to the system, things will not feel the pressure to move on and advance, evolve, change. That's why Nike is failing right now, because their inability to evolve, advance, change, innovate. You know what brands are evolving, changing, and innovating? Asics, New Balance, Hoka, Vans. These sneaker brands have been able to keep their customer base happy because of their ability to keep changing and innovating. Why? Because there's something new, there's something familiar, there's something affordable. Everybody is wearing these Asics nowadays. Why? Because of their affordability and their newness. People don't feel that connected to the check anymore. Look, Nike Techs used to be the hottest thing 2 years ago. Nowadays, you look like a goofy Nike Tech Ranger when you pop out with the Nike Tech set. Why? Because it's not an expression of individuality and fashion. It's more of an expression of brand loyalty, which isn't necessary in this day and age. So what? We're gonna have a new CEO? You're gonna give us more boring sneakers, more price hikes? I'm not with it, dog. I'm out. Nike stock did see a huge increase when this change was announced, but guess what? The stock price rose back to where it was before all this sneaker resale garbage failed, right? So keep in mind that a couple months ago, Nike's stock price dropped by 20%. So now they're able to recover from this profit loss. Oh, great. That's good for them. However, we still need to look at the fact that things have not been changing that much for Nike. The fact that people aren't waiting on the sneakers app to get Jordan 4s to sell out, the fact that people don't feel the need to buy things because they know they're going to be able to get it cheaper somewhere else, these values that have changed in people, the values that real and fake don't matter, the price tag doesn't matter, it's all about the aesthetic. And Nike needs to be able to keep up with these value changes, right? Because their values and the values of their customers don't align, and that's business 101. Your values must be hand in hand, played and played. So the fact that they're not really meeting the values of their customers forces them to be in this position where they're in the subservient spot to now where they're giving us everything we want in 2025. You want these old Jordans, bro? We're releasing all the retros, all the grails, whatever we can do to get you back. They're going to be willing to do it. And the power is in your hands, but I don't think the customers are going to use this power very wisely. They're going to get caught up in consumerism and give Nike what it wants, and their values won't change permanently. And Nike suffers from this all the time. When they see something that works, they just keep pumping it out over and over again. Look at Jordan 1s, pumped out over and over again. Panda Dunks, pumped out over and over again. It's starting to look like Tiana Trump, the way these sneakers just keep getting pumped out and blued out. And while Nike is doing all this price gouging, there are other brands that are seriously looking at an opportunity to rise. Look at New Balance, Asics, and Hoka. They only popped off for two reasons: the fall of Yeezy and the fall of New Balance. Yes, I know for some people these brands have always been around, but the general public, these are starting to take a rise because when the two big dogs fall, the underdog gets a chance to really shine because he is not like the competition, you understand? Sneakerheads are simply just done with Nike. They used to camp out for sneakers. They used to wait on the apps for sneakers. They would go out and get their girlfriends to go on the sneakers app for them. And those days are over. They don't feel the need to compete like that anymore because there's so many options, Nike. You haven't really woken up and smelled the roses. And the roses smell like sugar, honey, and iced tea mixed together with a little bit of spit. Hot tua. True sneakerheads are turning to smaller, more unknown brands. They're starting to return back to that feel in the 90s where you can wear different brands and not necessarily get roasted for it, because that time was focused on connections with athletes, players, fashion models, rappers, singers, etc. They were more connected to the image associated with the sneakers, not necessarily the value of the sneakers themselves. And Nike created this problem due to their own greed. Nike's obsession with mass producing sneakers and a cyclical nature has led them to this constant failure. They have realized that they can't keep pushing out the same types of sneakers over and over again because people are gonna get tired of them. There was once a time where the Panda Dunk was the most coveted sneaker of all time, and it's fallen down from its grace, right? Because people have realized that they're old, they're basic, they're recognizable too, but there's no need to be paying the prices they pay. That's why the prices drop, because the customers realize there's a value that they're willing to give up for the sneaker, and it's not the value that Nike sees in the sneaker. By raising prices and producing more sneakers than ever, Nike has alienated their customers. Sure, they can make a quick buck, but this high has not been able to last forever. Instead of nurturing a culture of value and love, they decide to just keep pumping their pockets, and they have to realize their customers are not wallets. There are people that value creativity and authenticity. And until that gap is bridged, we're always going to see a fail in the culture. But who's going to free it?